Good morning, good evening, good night, family caregivers, agers, and thrivers. Welcome to Lana's Little Things with me, Dr. Lana, specialist dermatologist, and we're going to talk on personality. Remember, this is Mental Health Month, but we want to join it with aging, with living, with interacting. We want to see how we can bridge our generational gaps and how we can make family caregiving, how that goes, how that can be a little easier. If easy is a word we can really use, but we can make it, we can all end as friends because we understand each other better. So, the typical question, the typical comment, the comment we've all grown up hearing is, you can't bend an old tree. You can't teach a dog new tricks. You know, old and set in their ways. Is that what you've heard? And you're like, okay, you know what? And older people believe that as well. So we've grown up hearing it. They believe it. And they repeat it over and over. And I'm talking about healthy aging, normal aging. Not going to add any mental conditions to this. We're just talking about what happens with normal aging and does your personality change as you get older? That's a question that science has a yes and a no for, answer for. And I like the fact that it's plastic or malleable because that's just how our brain works. So let's start with the definition of personality and see how it affects us and older persons. So the definition of personality is a unique and consistent pattern of thoughts, emotions, and behavior of a person which is distinct in the way they perceive and experience the world around them. Which is why in a world of, well, we almost at 10 billion people now, no matter what, I'm unique, you're unique. We're only one of a kind. And that's because our experiences shape us, our DNA shapes us, our upbringing, our experiences, our interactions, the highs, the lows, the joys, the sorrows, the losses, the gains, workplace, family life, unexpected events. All of those shape our personality. But at core, who we are doesn't really move. So there's a yes and a no. Does personality change? At core, no. Can it be modified, influenced, adjusted? I don't want to say improved. Let's say happyfied. Yes, definitely. So we're not changing people and we're not out here to change anybody. Nor is your intention to make the person different from who they are. Because no one wants to be changed. We are valued as we are, unique as we are, whatever our age and stage in life. And that brings us our dignity and that gives us our unique place in society. And it also helps when that is respected and it reduces ageism and which is age discrimination, stigma, and stereotype that older people are, you know, what's the point? That's so discouraging for an older person. Imagine if you're an older person and that's how you're being viewed. So we change in that dynamic. Okay. But the research, again, is based on studies on observing persons and also brain studies, definitely, of different kinds, observing families, interactions, social circles, business, and so on. So, has been, what is the core is that our brains are elastic. Our brains are plastic, so we can change, we can alter, we can the world we see around us, our experiences, good or bad, we can use those to help to influence our personality, to help ourselves to grow, to become better contributors, to have a better sense of self, to have a better self-worth, and life, to life in general will be more joyful. At core, though, If you are someone who loves adventure, and we're not talking age, we're talking ageless here, who loves adventure, who loves to see what the new adventure is outdoors. You like the outdoors, you like your gardening, you may like hiking, and you're still good and you're active and healthy, and you like going out, you like your social gatherings, absolutely fine. That's your core personality. That is different. And someone else likes the more quiet type. They've always been the quiet type. They don't talk much, but when they talk deep. Their idea of adventure is a really deep game of Scrabble. It's true. And indoors is wonderful for them. They love to be indoors with the family, the circle, the tribe, or on the phone, or just talking with friends who come by, or going to their places, Christian gatherings, or going to family events, small family events. So we're not out to change anybody's core personality. So your personality, in essence, no, it doesn't change when you get older. What it is it's influenced by the world around you, and it's a good thing because it means that if you wanted to experience life in a different way, you can. If you wanted to learn something else, you can. If you want to experience a different aspect of life, or find or go to a community center, or learn a craft, or learn a skill, you can. That doesn't mean that your personality has changed. That just means that you found a way to enhance for you the person you are. In essence, you meet new friends, you'll meet people of all different ages. And a plug for family caregivers, friends and family of older persons, it helps us to understand that our brains are elastic too, and so we can learn. But you know what older persons have on us that we don't have, is the experience that comes with time, with just living longer. What they have learned, what they have seen, what they have experienced, the mistakes they've made, that brings wisdom. And that is why just a few things change when a person gets older. One of them is the time they take to make a decision, which we find sometimes is slow. Like, can you just make it, just decide already? Mm-mm. They recognize that, you know what, sometimes when you think you know the information on a decision, you don't really have. You don't. And maybe it takes a little more time. So they help us to learn more patience. They help us to develop our own personalities and grow and learn as effective and contributors to society, to our families, to our community in general. Which again brings us to the bridging gaps. Which also, if we understand each other, understand how our brain works, and we learn together, and we recognize that no, nobody's cast in stone. But we just have to understand how we think, how each other thinks, and give regard for how, and empathy for how we all think, because we all want to know that we matter, that our thoughts are valid, our thoughts matter, our feelings matter. Our personality is not being forced into change because, it doesn't suit somebody else. No. We become closer, we bridge those gaps, we're family, we're friends. It brings happiness, and who can say no to that? From my heart to yours, Dr. Lana. Hope this was helpful. If you find this was helpful, share with a friend who might be feeling down because they're getting older. Share the family caregiver who's just not understanding what's happening with their why suddenly granddad wants to go and learn how to do a different sport. You're like, granddad, no, you can't. And how to interact when there might be a difference of opinion. Like, subscribe. It always helps this channel. I appreciate all those who do, and share with others, because at the end of the day, the more we learn about each other, the better we understand each other, the better we can be to each other. and contribute to society and just live life in a happier, more productive, self-fulfilling way. Who can say no to that? From my heart to yours, Dr. Lana. Trust this was helpful again. Press that notification bell because I do this every Saturday. Wherever you are, good morning, good evening, good night. From my heart to yours, Dr. Lana. Mwah.